moving quickly. Another handoff to Rankin. Rankin finds a hole. He's at the 30. Makes it to the 20. He's got one man to beat. Rankin walks into the end zone. Into the backfield. Braden Wright looks over top. He's going to try to find a man. He's got Alec Tatum. Tatum bobbles it, but he's in the end zone. What a connection between Braden Wright and Alec Tatum. Handoff to Rankin. Rankin right up the middle, and he's in the end zone for a Bearcat touchdown. Here with you as we get set for another week of setting up the weekend of sports. And start this week, well, first off, really no update with Bearcat sports yet. Still waiting on kind of things to get started in the winter. No update on football from a couple weeks ago.
They're still practicing.
They're practicing.
So they're still practicing.
But we don't quite know what that practice is for yet.
Mm-hmm.
So still waiting on that, and that is about all we have for Bearcat sports right now. Is just kind of just every week waiting on
basketball got
announcement. Basketball practice got started.
They will have games.
And they did announce that volleyball will start late February, soccer will start late March. Okay. So that's your Bearcat sports update. And this week we'll start the show with something a little bit different. A championship was won. A Los Angeles Lakers championship in the bubble with the NBA. LeBron James and the Lakers complete the bubble championship.
Probably the first and only time we'll talk about an NBA team winning a championship on WSK, because usually it's in the summer.
Yeah, normally, you're right, Sam. Normally we start the playoffs and then
we all go home.
But get to talk about an NBA championship coming in just a few weeks normally before the regular season gets started for the next season, so surely it's going to be a bit before the NBA season gets underway again. So another shortened NBA season on the way, but in what is probably one of the toughest seasons in NBA history with the length of it and then the situation inside the bubble, LeBron James and the Lakers get it done.
Yeah, they did, and they got it done in a couple games more than people thought. The Miami Heat put up a big time, effort and pushed it to 6 games. Jimmy Butler played his heart out the entire way, but it was just meant to be that LeBron and the Lakers are going to win this year. Everyone kind of knew coming into that season that they were the favorite, and they win the title. But don't count out this Heat team. I think they will be back.
Yeah, there's no doubt the Heat deserve a lot of credit. Nobody thought that they would be get as far as they did in the playoffs, entering as the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. Obviously, the 5 seed or the Eastern Conference wasn't as strong overall, I would say, as the Western Conference was, but still, as the 5 seed in that conference, getting all the way to the finals, going on such a hot streak like they were on, and then pushing the Lakers to 6 games. The Heat deserve a ton of credit. Everybody's talking about LeBron, his 4th title, the Lakers 17th. That's good and all. Congratulations to them. But I don't think enough people are talking about the Heat and how good of a showing they put on in the bubble throughout the whole time they were in the bubble, and how they will be a perennial powerhouse, I believe, in the Eastern Conference for years to come.
I think that I get what you're saying with not enough people are talking about the Heat, but no one really talks about who finishes second.
True.
And that's the point here is
no one talked about the 49ers last year.
I know nobody kind of didn't expect the Lakers to win the championship. It was the expected winner. But when you throw everything into the bubble, it kind of, as we saw throughout the playoffs, other than the Lakers, it completely shook everything up.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where I get in this situation where there's some talk about how easy the road was for the Lakers.
It was
Stop.
It was not easy.
Stop with that. I know they didn't play the Clippers. The Clippers lost.
Yeah.
Clippers weren't a good enough team to make the conference finals. The Celtics, the Raptors, the Bucks all lost. You had to go through and beat the teams in front of you. The Lakers did that. This is an incredibly difficult thing the Lakers did in this environment. There's no fans. I know it. We kind of got used to them pumping fan noise over the broadcast. It did not sound like that in the arena. This was an extremely difficult thing to do, and the Lakers were the only team that did what was expected of them during this entire course through the bubble.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, everyone expected the Lakers coming in, and no one expected everyone expected Lakers-Clippers Western Conference Finals and, probably Lakers-Bucks Finals. Obviously, we didn't get that. The Heat send out the Bucks. They weren't good enough to win in that environment, and the Clippers choked. They had a 3-1 lead to the Nuggets, and they choked it away. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard and company weren't able to get it done. And so that just shows you the testament to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I mean, they had 3-1 leads in every single series that they played in, and they won every single series. So, it shows, how much better they were than, the Clippers, because everyone thought the Clippers were going to win that Western Conference Finals coming into the season. And they showed, no, that's not happening. LeBron James is still the best player in the league. And, he showed it by showing out in the bubble.
This still goes down in the record books, obviously. But you do have to wonder if they'd played a regular season, if things would go down differently.
Maybe the Clippers get to the Western Conference Finals.
The Clippers looked shaken. They didn't look the same.
I don't think the outcome changes. Maybe the Heat don't make it to the finals, but the Lakers still win the finals. Even if we have a full 82 fans in the stands, no COVID.
It's a difficult thing to predict because obviously that's not what happened. We didn't get to see that. They had to play with what was presented in front of them, and maybe that helped teams hurt other teams, but it's still minus the fans. And I know fans have an effect on a game because it changes the atmosphere. You can feel momentum. When the momentum goes away, you can hear it in the stands. If you're an away team, you want to try to take the fans out of the game. But when fans aren't presented, you just got to go play basketball. And to me, there's a purity aspect to it where the best teams out there, just on a pure basketball standpoint, are going to do the best in the bubble. And for a while, it kind of seemed like a pickup game. But then once everybody got the flow of, okay, let's just play basketball, you saw who the best team in the league was, and it was the Lakers, and it really wasn't that close this year.
And, this is how I've come away looking at it, is it showed that LeBron James and Anthony Davis are two of the mentally toughest players in the league, because you heard coming out of the bubble so many reports of guys that just kind of, especially come, the second round of the playoffs, were I just want to go home. They'd been there for 2+ months, separated from their families at that time, and they were really struggling. And at that time, you had the stuff going on in Milwaukee. You had stuff, and it was just weighing on them. And the fact that teams like the Lakers were able to buckle down and really play in this really tough environment was what I think showed that they have a lot of mental toughness.
Yeah, you mentioned not only missing their families, but all the other outside stuff, all the social justice stuff the NBA tried to do in this bubble. LeBron James is at the forefront of that, and he was able to take on the brunt of being the face of the NBA and being the social justice change leader for the NBA, and then also missing his family and then leading the best team in the league. And it showed you just how tough LeBron James really is and how much probably better LeBron James just is.
Well, and I think you heard it from him specifically after the series was over with interviews of just how bad he wanted to not only win another championship, but to kind of just shut everybody up. And to me, this championship does that because you look at the Lakers team he took over. They missed the playoffs one year. They get Anthony Davis. This is a team that really look at the roster. It's LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and then
Rajon Rondo.
A bunch of washed up vets.
Yeah.
They carried that team.
You lose either LeBron or Anthony Davis, this team's not very good. We saw that last year when it was just LeBron. They missed the playoffs. So now you've got a player in LeBron James who has taken franchises, either bad franchises or mediocre franchises at the time, turned them around, won championships with them 3 different times. This year, he takes over and basically plays the point guard all year. As we turn to our weekly edition of the NFL preview. No Thursday night game to talk about because that game got moved to Monday.
It felt weird.
Felt weird not having a Thursday night.
A little weird, but also kind of nice. Kind of nice not having football on Thursday night. Just watching baseball.
Well,
everyone forced to watch baseball.
It was a Chiefs game I was supposed to be able to watch last night, so now I got to watch it Monday afternoon. So it's all good.
You'll get over it.
take a look at the current pick standings as it tightened up this last week. As because Sam and Sam continue to have the same record each week. They
He
both
keeps
went
taking my
9 and
picks.
4. So Sam, you guys picked
Whatever.
different, and you equaled out in your different picks
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah.
But Sam's 50 and 22. Sam Reeves is 49 and 23, both 9 and 4. And Grant and I, we keep coming back. Couple games here and there.
Chipping away.
Grant's 48 and 24 with a 10 and 3 week, and I'm 47 and 25 with a 10 and 3 week. So this many games since this year due to COVID, a little bit less sports to talk about. So we're picking every NFL game.
First one to 50.
It is. Well, that means nothing.
That means
Yeah.
nothing. I'm one get behind
Absolutely
you.
nothing. But 3 games between the
because
4 of
everyone else
us.
is going to be at 50.
And
next.
I think the more impressive
hope.
thing is that the worst one of us, which is me, is still 22 games above 500.
If this was last year, we might have someone below 500.
Yeah, well, we would have.
Yeah.
Last year was bad. It was really bad last year. I expected it to be as bad this year, but
No.
the favorites are winning a little bit more often. I think everybody's risking a little bit less. So far, it actually looks like we kind of know what we're talking about, unlike last year. So that's good. First game, not much to talk about because it's
No.
the Washington team name here is at 1 and 4, at the Giants, who are 0 and 5. I think somehow the Giants ended up being the favorites. in
Yeah,
this game.
somehow an 0-5 Giants team was the favorite. They were a 2.5-point favorite yesterday. I don't
But,
know what it's at right now.
I want
It's
my.
at 3 now. It's gone up half a point.
Oh goodness.
Wow.
Well, I want my 0-16 for both the Giants and Jets off my rocker from a few weeks ago
That would be
to come
amazing.
true. So I'm picking the
Okay.
team name here is to win this one.
I'm picking team name here.
Yeah,
Every day of the week.
I'm also on Washington football team. I kind of like that name. It's kind of growing on me.
Are you serious?
It's growing on me.
No. Team name here wins. I don't think I'm ever going to say team name here wins a game this season unless they play the Jets, and I'll probably pick the Jets. But team name here beats the Giants. Giants fall to 0-6.
Jump
So,
on the bandwagon, guys.
Just to put this into perspective here, we have a 1-4 team consensus picked
It's
to
unbelievable.
beat an 0-5 team that is the favorite. Welcome to 2020.
2020,
exactly.
man.
Next game, Lions 1 and 3, 3.5-point favorites at the Jaguars, who are 1 and 4. Sam Reeves.
Lions win this game. Gardner Minshew's played decently, but DJ Chark is not going to play, and Laviska Shenault is the number 1 receiver in Jacksonville, so Lions win.
Grant, I have you already penciled in as Jaguars.
No,
due to
I'm going
Minshew.
Lions. I like the Lions this
Okay.
week.
Surprise.
They look
Surprising.
better.
That's surprising.
For me, I'm also on the Lions. Matt Stafford's better than
Minshew.
Minshew. And, Minshew mania after week 1 has died down. It will continue to die down. Lions win.
I'll make it quick. Lions as well. We'll make it all 4 of us on the Lions.
2 consensus picks right off the bat.
I got stung by my Jags pick last week.
Falcons at 0 and 5 at the Vikings at 1 and 4. Vikings 3.5-point favorites.
Man, you're getting the bad ones out of the way first.
Well,
I
that's
like
the
it.
point.
Yeah, that's the point. But,
That's a
Get
good
'em over
idea.
but
I think 2 teams that could have better records but don't.
One team
one
could
due
have-
to incompetence on the football field, the other due to poor play. That is a different thing, by the way.
It is.
Yeah.
Very much.
I know
One
it sounds
team-
like the same thing.
one
but
team literally forgot how to play football.
That's the incompetent part.
Yeah, the Falcons forgot how to play football against the Cowboys.
The Vikings did not. They just played the game poorly.
Yeah.
Correct.
They started
But
like
Sam.
15 rookies.
I'm going to go with the team that has played poorly instead of just forgetting how to play football. The Vikings know how to play football, and even though they haven't played it well, they'll win in this one.
Give me the Vikings as well. I think they've looked a bit better each week. They started a ton of rookies. I think they drafted 15 this year. And without a preseason, they've had a lot of growing pains. So, yeah, give me the Vikings.
I don't think – can you draft 15? Did they have that many picks?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, there's also rookie free agent signings.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
There's that. But drafting.
I'm tempted to pick the Falcons in this game, but I've picked them too many times already, and they haven't won a game. Even without Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison is the best backup running back in football, so they will be just fine. The Vikings win this game.
Can't say that next week. Le'Veon
For me,
Bell.
there's this thing about firing your head coach, coming back with an interim head coach and winning football games. We
That's-
saw the Texans do it.
Yeah.
It's this boost to a team, and I'm probably going to regret this, but the Falcons give Raheem Morris the nod, their defensive coordinator, as the interim head coach. I think that's enough of a boost, new leadership. I'm going to take the Falcons. Probably will regret it, but
Island Jacob?
I'm gonna go out on
I was
an
close
island
to
and take
doing
the
it.
Falcons.
I don't think it's
I
a
just-
bad pick.
You saw what the Texans did. I know it was against a bad team, but Romeo Crennel came in. They
This is
played
against
well.
a bad team, too, though.
So I think the Falcons come in, have that boost they need, kind of get rid of the mental barrier that was there in Dan Quinn, and get the job done. Next game, we'll go ahead and pick it. Don't know if it's happening or not.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait on that until Sunday.
I feel
but
like we should pick whether it's going to be played or not, too. Should we do that?
Yeah, that's right. So you can bet on the Broncos, the Patriots, or COVID-19.
I bet on COVID-19.
So okay, the Broncos are 1-3 at the Patriots 2-2. Patriots are 9.5-point favorites. I guess COVID is undefeated.
COVID is undefeated in
will always
2020.
Actually, no. I think Adam Silver got a win against COVID.
Okay,
so
so it's-
COVID's like a lot in one.
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
But I think the game gets played. I think it might be Monday or Tuesday before it gets played, but I think it gets played.
Wednesday night football. Let's do it.
Cam
Wednesday
Newton's
morning.
back. Patriots
I am.
win. They steamroll the Broncos.
Uh,
Whenever the game gets
yeah,
played.
it doesn't matter if this game gets played this week, next week, week 18, week 19 of the NFL season. Doesn't matter when
April.
it gets April. I mean,
It's a Super Bowl.
at the Super Bowl.
Oh no!
Yeah, it could be like
Please.
the pregame.
Finally, we're gonna get this.
That'd be awesome.
What week 5-4 matchup
6.
Before the Super Bowl.
6 before the Super Bowl. We're gonna play this game.
That's great.
Then we're gonna bring out the teams. Doesn't matter when it's gonna get played. The Patriots are gonna win it.
Give me the Patriots.
Cam Newton is better than Brett Ripien. Patriots
Hot take.
win.
That's
Next game,
That might be the
Texans
coldest
1-4
Exactly. Thank you very much.
at the undefeated Titans. The Titans are 3-point favorites.
Somehow.
The Titans looked really good on Tuesday,
Tuesday night football.
They did. They look good.
and I think they make the Texans look really bad in this one. I'm taking the Titans big.
Titans win this game big. Ryan Tannehill's had a good year. I've been on the Titans bandwagon from the beginning. Why stop here? Titans win.
Yeah, give me the Titans. I think Tannehill has actually been the better part of that team. Everybody was
Really
like raving about Derrick Henry's stiff arm, but he only had like 57 yards, I think.
Well, but he
Well,
he
th-
flung
this
Josh
game-
Norman to
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
another
I'm saying.
planet.
This game is going to be another version of that. Steph Arm, the Titans are going to just push the Texans into the ground.
Okay,
I like these unanimous
that's
picks.
good.
Up next, Ravens 4-1, 7.5
another
point
one.
favorites at the Eagles, who are 1-3-1.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'll make fun of myself. For some reason, I put the Giants down.
Oh, okay.
It's the Eagles.
It's the
Okay.
Eagles.
Doesn't
Run,
really
rundown
matter.
error. It's
That
the
doesn't
Eagles.
really change our pick.
No, it doesn't. Is anybody picking the Eagles?
No.
Okay, Ravens across the board. Make that one quick. We'll now get to the much
more anticipated segment.
anticipated entertaining segment, which is Off My Rocker. I lost one of mine this past weekend when the Chiefs lost. So
So they go
I did
undefeated.
too.
I said they
was
went
gonna make it
undefeated, so I
that
lost
quick.
that one. I'm holding on to hope that the Giants and the Jets don't win a game.
Unbelievable.
That's still in play.
It's still in play.
Yeah.
It'd be great if it happened. We'll see. Who wants to start this week?
Not me.
Grant thinks Sam told
You know
me
what?
his isn't very good
I've
this week.
changed
Mine
mine
isn't
and it's
either.
better.
It's better.
Yeah.
Well, still, you go first.
Okay. Mine is going to baseball with the Kansas City Royals. They will sign Trevor Bauer this offseason.
Oh
Def-
man, I would be.
That'd be
Very
nice,
happy
but
camper.
no.
That's there you go.
I
That's it.
know. Since you're not
Yeah,
a
Sam,
baseball
you can-
fan, he is off his rocker with that.
Trevor Bauer is the best free agent starting pitcher available this offseason and will require a lot of money to be thrown his way.
A lot of money that the Royals
and
don't
the Royals, although this is their first
I think they
offseason with a
have
new ownership group.
have. That's
so-
true, so maybe they'll throw a little bit more money around.
But not enough to get Bauer.
But especially with the pitching coming up, they don't need starting pitching. They got pitching
Of
coming.
course they need starting pitching. They always need starting.
They got pitching coming. They don't need Trevor Bauer.
I think they could use them. I just don't think they can afford them.
Yeah, that's probably where you're at.
I actually have a baseball one too. Also,
Am I off
Royals.
my rocker,
Okay.
Grant?
Is your-
I don't have a baseball one. I
I
have
don't
a
think
football
we're gonna
one.
go
football?
I have
For
football.
We're not
So
gonna
we'll
for
go to
Trevor
Grant. We'll
Bauer.
keep it baseball, and then we'll go to football because mine's always football.
We're not going to sign Trevor Bauer because the Royals are going to have the Rookie of the Year and the Cy Young, and it's going to be one of our rookie pitchers next year.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So just one of the rookie
Yeah.
pitchers. You don't even know where.
Well, we have so many, it can be anyone.
So one of them.
Yeah.
Are you gonna name? Just name one.
Lynch. Daniel Lynch, right?
Sure. That's
It's not the
rookie
one that I
pitcher.
would say, but
That's not. I wouldn't go Lynch.
Asa
either.
Lacy.
I definitely wouldn't pick him.
didn't they just draft
They
him?
just drafted him, exactly.
He's not gonna be. I'd say
I would
the
say
closest
Singer.
one's gonna be Singer.
Is he still rookie eligible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'd go Brady Singer. Any of them. They're
Rookie
all
of the
good.
year. Rookie of the year.
We're
and
going to have
Cy
a
Young?
5-headed monster.
So you're saying rookie of the year and Cy Young for
Mhm.
Brady Singer?
That's not gonna happen. Rookie of the year, maybe. Cy Young, no.
Yeah, no, not happening. I hope
Not
it does because that means the Royals are a good baseball team. But
And that's not gonna happen for a couple more years.
Maybe Danny Duffy wins the
Mm.
Cy Young. And
Danny
Brady
Duffy's
Singer wins.
toast. Danny Duffy's
I'm
toast.
just,
Danny
I'm just
Duffy,
hopeful here.
No.
This is a off week for my Off My Rockers.
So I'll go to football.
Okay.
So I like to keep it with the homer off my rock.
Here we go again.
We're going
Here
with
we
the
go.
Cowboys.
Here we go.
Andy Dalton.
Wait, before you say anything, this is him going Cowboy off my rocker is gonna make mine even that much better.
Awesome.
Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle himself, straight out of TCU, now with the Dallas Cowboys, will lead the Dallas Cowboys through this tumultuous season to, let's say, they finish the year 11-5. They make it into the playoffs. They win the NFC East with that record.
11-5.
I think they could win
No.
the NFC East with a 7-8 record.
Yeah,
8-8,
11-5.
I guess.
I'm generous. I'm not going. Oh, they go in 13-3, 12-4,
No.
11-5,
No.
11-5.
Sorry.
Winning the NFC East, they get to the NFC Championship,
Whoa. Huh?
but they don't win. They don't win the NFC Championship, but they get to the NFC
I don't know why you're
Championship.
putting all these
with
like,
Andy Dalton.
stipulations on it. You
This-
could just say they go 11-5, and we would all say you're off your roster.
Stop. I thought you were going to stop at that.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
This wouldn't even happen if Dak Prescott was the
I like
quarterback.
to go.
Thank you.
You go big or go home, and they're making it to
Go
the
home.
NFC
Can I?
Championship.
Why does Andy Dalton make the change in this? This wouldn't happen with Dak Prescott.
No,
I
I'm
was
saying,
gonna say my off my rocker was gonna be.
No
that
one
Dak gets
believes in
benched
Andy
for the
Dalton.
season, and then I was like, oh, I can't say that now.
no one believes in Andy Dalton. No one thinks Andy Dalton can
I've
do
sat
it.
here all show and said Andy Dalton will be just fine and help this
Yeah,
team
but-
with the division.
Yeah, but no one thinks he's gonna do anything in the playoffs.
Because he
I
won't.
Because he
think-
won't be
But
there.
it won't be Andy Dalton's fault.
You're right. It's gonna be the defense's fault. But
Yes.
nonetheless, the defense somehow figures it out, and we get to the
Sam
NFC.
is so desperate.
Dorrance
Jeez.
Armstrong.
Sam is so desperate to come up with an off my rocker where the Cowboys do
my
something successful. He comes up with a different version of it every week.
Yeah.
And it gets worse every week.
It does. It does.
But it makes for great content, and we got
Next
that.
Well,
Okay.
Here's mine. We're
Here
gonna
we-
stick.
here we go.
We're gonna stick
you're
with the
football.
NFC East.
You're with football. It's what is
Right.
it?
You joining me?
The worst playoff team in NFL history is 7-9.
The Seattle Seahawks,
Seattle
who did win a
Seahawks.
game. Who
They did win a game. The Dallas Cowboys shatter that record,
Oh no.
become the worst team to ever make the playoffs at 6-10.
Oh, I would go 5-11.
See, okay, 5-11. Okay, go 5-11. Win the NFC East and make the playoffs,
Oh,
and then get beat by 4 touchdowns with whoever they play.
Yes, please.
No, they're not going to get beat by 4 touchdowns because they have the
Because their defense is so good.
I just
'Cause
added
they're
that to
offense.
mess with you.
because
No,
they're
the
offense.
off
They're
my
not gonna-
rocker
defense is so good.
is we get a new worst playoff team in NFL
No.
history with the Dallas Cowboys winning the division
No,
at 6-10 or worse.
no. The worst I think this team will go is 7-9.
Really?
The worst I think this team will go is
Well,
7-9.
see, right there, you're telling me we're one
I think
game
you're off
away.
your rocker.
Unbelievable.
What do
I'm
you mean
sorry,
one game
Sam.
away?
You just said they might win the division at 7-9. I'm saying they'll win the division
No,
at 6-10 and be the
I'm
worst
saying
playoff
they're
team in
the-
history.
Yeah, I'm not saying they might win the division at 7-9. I'm saying the worst the Cowboys will go. I feel like is 7-9.
But they'll still win the division.
Yeah,
at
they'll
that
still
point.
win the division with
So
that
what's the
record.
difference between 7-9 and
don't
6-10?
know.
Because I don't think they're going to
Washington,
lose double-digit games.
I mean, if they lose this week, you're at 2-4. You're on pace for 6-10.
They're not losing this week, though.
Okay.
If we go by my picks.
Right, and
Oh,
I guess
well,
you are
if
winning.
we go by your picks, they're
And
undefeated.
I actually,
And who's-
I'm sure I've got the spreadsheet. I'd love to go through
And who's number one on the picks
and
right
figure out Sam's record with Cowboy picks.
now? It's probably not very well. 8
I'd
and
need
8
to go
last.
do that.
I went 8 and 8 last year.
It is that easy.
So I guess what is he? He's 2-4 this.
So he'd be 2 and
He's
3
2 and
this
3,
year.
right?
2 and
so
3 this
he's
year.
so he's 10 and 11 in Cowboy
Yeah,
picks.
better than I
almost
thought.
500. Almost 500.
Wow, it's funny how the Cowboys in the last 2 seasons now are under 500.
Boy.
I was gonna make mine like something like the Cowboys won't ever go above 500 with Mike McCarthy, but I feel like that's not off my rocker either.
That's,
I mean,
it's
that's
too
something
high.
that
feel like that's on my
we're going to
roster.
have to wait until we're not here
So,
anymore.
Here's the question. We know he doesn't think it's going to happen, but do you think that the Dallas Cowboys, either of you, can win the division at 6 and 10?
Yes.
I didn't say they couldn't win the division at 6 and 10. I just think that they're not
Because
going
that
to.
whole division is so bad.
Real-
They're not going to
realistically,
have to. They're
I
not
don't
gonna have
even
to.
know. Like, honestly, I haven't done the math. Like, it would be mathematically really weird
It'll be
with
hard.
having to play each other.
And they'd host a playoff.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think,
Oh,
I think
that's
it
even-
like for the sake of off my rocker, I think if you actually dive into the schedule really deep, like the math becomes very
7 and 9,
unlikely.
the only
Here, I'll
7
look-
and 9
let's
were-
look at their schedule and let's
the
go deep.
division schedule, and then like having to win this game, and then have the Giants lose this game, the Eagles lose this game, or win this, lose that. The probability of them actually winning the division at 6 and 10. Now, the probability of somebody winning the division at 6
I
and
mean,
10
they're
is
winning
possible.
at least. They're winning at least 5 more games this year because that's however many division
Again-
games they have left.
Well, they don't have to win all of those to still win the division. That's what I'm saying. The
I
math
know.
gets really weird when you really want to dive into it. So I think with that,
Those might be the only games they win.
7 and 9 is probably
You
more
barely beat the
likely
Giants
because you
with
need a lot
Dak
of help at
Prescott.
6 and 10. I think the Cowboys would need a lot of help at 6 and 10 to win the division with weird things happening within the division. But I think it's still possible.